Hello and welcome to Dario's Tabletop, and this is another video. A video I wanted to do for a long time, but I wasn't sure, and now I am sure. And the video is called Does Competitive 40k Destroy 40k? Something like this. Is it worded right? Does Competitive 40k Destroy 40k? Yeah, kinda. What I mean is 40k is going in the direction of being competitive and balanced, and I'm all for that. I mean, do it. But when I saw the first time 40k as a kid or as a teenager, the first thing that comes to my mind is not competitive play. The first thing that comes to my mind is, and this is an old miniature, is, oh man, I wanna have Space Marines, and I wanna have a Cybot or a Dreadnought, and I wanna have tanks, and I want Space Marines fighting aliens or Chaos fighting the Empire. You know what I mean? You have a movie in your mind, you have a cool game in your mind, and it's not about being all competitive. It's also about having stories. And I think GW is doing a couple of things. Making a competitive game is a great thing, but I think when they can say, okay, we want a game that is made for competition. When you go to a competition, miniatures need to have WYSIWYG. So what you see is what you get. So you got this Dreadnought or Cybot, and he's equipped with a Stormbolter and a Heavy Bolter. So that's good. But when you're starting and you're getting into the game as a kid, as a teenager, or maybe as a newcomer, you just want to play what's cool, the rule of cool. And competitive play is destroying that rule of cool. And I think Games Workshop is doing that on purpose. And I think that we as the gamers on purpose should say, fuck you, Games Workshop, not with us. And I will tell you a story about that. So I always wanted to play Ultramarines, and I didn't. I just like the color, and I have some Leviathan Terminators. I will paint them up as Ultramarines and I will play them. Have many other people's done so, and is it boring? I don't care if it's boring. I just like the colors. I like the flavor. I want it. And so let's do it. And then I always wanted to play some Tyranids. I'm a big fan of the movie Starship Troopers. I got the book there. The book is not so great. It's okay, but it's not as good as I thought it would be. But I always liked StarCraft, the Zerg. I liked Starship Troopers, and if I can play that on the tabletop, I will. And so the best way to do that was to get myself like this part of the Leviathan Tyranids, or maybe there's also another way, and just to paint them up and to play. But the first thing that came to my mind due to the experiences of playing 40k, and it has always been this way at my local play store, I show up with those minis, and probably they will get trashed by a guy who has maxed out his list with broken shit, and he just spams the I don't know, just some competitive list, and he has a few tanks, and then he has the best troops, and there's no fluff like on the list, and it's just effective. And turn 1 he will do this, and turn 2 he will do this, and turn 3 I will be tabled. And fun is a different thing for everybody else. But for myself, like, I can play very competitively, and I don't want to play to lose. I want to play to win, but I also need a bit of substance and beauty in playing the game. and I want to also to experience like how does it feel when these miniatures flood the board or run along the board, or how is it fighting Space Marines with them. And so I had this box and I wanted to play them, but then I found out that the Winged Hive Prime isn't that good and you need warriors, or maybe these guys aren't that good, or maybe these guys aren't that good. Who's playing Von Ryan's Lictors? And so I sold the box again. Because I said, okay, the pain of assembling all of these minis and painting them, assembling, painting, magnetizing them, bringing them there and learning the rules, and then just getting tabled, or even like I have all these minis, but then to be competitive, I need to buy very expensive stuff. Like I didn't want to do that. So I did cut off the pain and I sold this box. But from the moment I sold my Tyranids, something in my mind was like, hey, you're not done with Tyranids. And a few days I was thinking, okay, why this impulse? Why do I want to play them? I sold them off. I'm happy with Bolt Action. I'm happy with Marvel Crisis Protocol, and I have a few 40k miniatures if I want to play them. So why is this coming always back to me? And I think something in me said, your childhood self or your teenage self, or even you at this age, 39, want to experience playing Tyranids, to paint them, to field them, having fun with them. And the great thing was having fun with them. And not playing competitive Tyranids or showing up and destroying the opponent. The first thing that came to my mind, I want to have fun with my Tyranids and my Tyranid army. And right now I have a play group, people I play with Bolt Action, and we're having tons of fun. And is it competitive to bring a Tiger tank? It can be, but probably it isn't. There are other things that are probably more efficient for the points cost. But is it fun to bring a Tiger tank? Yes, it is. It is just fun to put a big tank on a tabletop and to think about, okay, James Ryan or some battles. And I think that's what's missing in Warhammer 40k. And I think Games Workshop, they have thought, if we go a competitive route, we maybe have more exposure. Maybe more people are interested in the hobby. If it's competitive, maybe we can make a monopose model or streamline the process. So have cheaper production costs, while have higher returns while selling. But flavor is missing. The flavor is missing. The fun is missing. It is also like when I show up at my local game store for a 40k, maybe it's the wrong place, but like, when are we playing just for fucking fun? When are we putting the miniatures on a table that we like the look of, that we like the lore or the fluff, or that just are amazing? And sadly, that's not often the case. Like I think, sure, it's fun to win, and it's fun to paint the coolest models and the strongest. But when I was last time playing my Death Watch, everybody else was playing some Space Marine list, some Space Marine detachment, and they all looked the same. They all was the same tank. Everybody had the same dreadnought. Everybody had the same units on the table. It was as if you're playing the same mirror match over and over again, just in different colors. And that's really not appealing to me. And you might say, okay, then that's not appealing to you, then find your players. And I think I found my players, people that have a similar taste like me, but it is definitely also Games Workshop that has catered or maybe forced this on the players, because when I was getting into the game, sure, it's always a game, you have or you want to win, but there was always like I don't know, a great diversity and creativity in your armies and what you could bring. And it was not expected. Like the competitive scene was always a niche, and everybody else was just playing the game for enjoyment. And now it's like everybody's playing the game to be competitive and not to enjoy it anymore as much from the model standpoint or from the fluff standpoint. And I don't know what they have written and how the fluff right now is. I don't care, because Warhammer, if they don't screw it up, will always be great. But yeah, I want to just experience having some Space Marines showing up on a planet and it's infested by some aliens or chaos dwellers, and then we have a great fight. And I had those matches. I had those matches when I first went into 40k, and we were all noobs and assembling our start collecting boxes. And it was so much fun because everybody brought what he had. You could look at the paint shop and think, oh man, last time just this thing wasn't painted and now it looks amazing. Let's see what it can do. And that is amazing. So I would say if Games Workshop doesn't do it, then we as a community need to do it. We need to dictate what games we want, because Magic the Gathering is a great game, but Commander really grew in popularity and took over the whole meta. When I got into Magic the Gathering, there was like standard or like type 2, like the newest editions, then there were older editions, then there was like legacy or vintage, where you could play pretty much everything, but not the restricted, like there were also restricted cards. And every time somebody was playing a commander deck, I was like, what's that crap? What's that crap? That's not competitive. That's just for fun. And now everybody, or for the past few years, I've seen so many people show up with friends and bring their commander, and they're still like competitive, but they're always thinking, okay, what could be fun? What could be fun for my play group? What would bring fun to myself and all of that stuff. And I think we as players need to take back our creativity and make out of the game what we want. Yeah. So is competitive gaming destroying for Warhammer 40k? I think it was, but it won't anymore, because I will start playing again and making fluffy battle reports. Yeah. So we see us.